All right, welcome back to Pixel Map Adventures. And before we get started, I'd like to say that I didn't plan on doing that intro video, but I just thought, I was like, I gotta do a cool intro and cool title. And I started doing one thing, and then it turned to another thing, and then music was added, and then all of a sudden I was like, all right, now the rest of the whole production is not going to be as amazing as this, because this is like a feature film quality, and then boom, after making that, I'm like, okay, so now we're just going back to the stuff I do when I'm bored, which is like just to scroll over some like very densely pixelated imagery of another planet and wonder just what the heck we're looking at. But either ways, if you're here for the ride, then hey, let's keep it going, because I've got little tidbits along the way that are unique. This time we're exploring a little bit more of the technologies and the AI associated with trying to figure out exactly, what we're looking at when we're exploring maps and stuff. So let's just get into this. The first thing I'm looking at is an image I came across on Venus. I thought it was interesting to study it. I don't normally look at it, but this time I'm looking at Venus, and I found some interesting features on it. So I'm gonna pull up an image and we're gonna look at it, and it is pixelated. It says this is an Airbus Landsat Copernicus Maxar Technologies map data image, and I wanted to enhance it, so I went into ChatGPT and I said, hey, how do I do this? I said, what are 10 things I can ask to enhance an image without ruining it or making up stuff, generating stuff for this image? And it basically came up with this information. But anyways, it just says increase clarity and sharpness, improve contrast, reduce blur, clean up compression artifacts, enhance only the marked areas, make the blue annotations cleaner, create 2 versions, make one version with the blue annotations, that I had originally marked on the map when I did the picture and took a picture of it, took a screenshot of it, and then it says add subtle labels, blah. Okay, so so basically we took the image and I said, okay, which one should I do first so it doesn't distort the image with the next enhancement? We want to do all the enhancements in the right order, right? That's at least how I'd be thinking. So it suggested doing a denoise remove compression artifact. So I did that, and if we click on the image, you can kind of see what it decided to come up with. And on this image, I have circled some interesting things that I noticed, and one of them was this line that was coming away from it that I originally thought was, looked like a tower. There's a line, and I was like, kind of looks like maybe there might be a shadow cast from it, right? We don't know. So I just called it the tower. Then I looked over and I noticed there was something that looked like a tunnel, and just to remind you, I've been looking at this for hours. So whenever I see something that stands out from the regular pattern of terrain, to me, that says something about it. This says that this feature is different compared to many features that are shown on the map. Even if you're just looking at pixels, you could just simply say, hey, I came across an image and of pixels, and this area is slightly different and casts a different kind of shadow or shape than anywhere else I've seen over hours. And so that should mean something, right? That's the idea. It doesn't mean it means anything. It doesn't mean it's significant at all. It just means that in relation to the other pixels and the other things we've been looking at, nothing has stood out as significant or different until now. And so that's why we explore it, because it's different largely more than it's not. So that's how I figure out what to look at. And then from there, I just mark it as something to explore in more depth. So another object I circled were these other mounds, and the thing is, on this planet, you have these spires or batholiths, like batholiths, and these are like these funnels that come up out of the ground, and they can rise up to maybe like a mile or 4 miles up, I think, from my research.
Okay, and so we both know that I'm not making this up. I have cited my sources. Welcome. Venus does not have a single named defined batholith on its surface. Okay, we're not going to read all that, but basically you can see we got some sources here, and it says the largest volcanic mass magmatic intrusion equivalent is Artemis. Artemis is the largest tectonomagmatic feature on Venus, spanning a massive, that's not important. Okay, so basically we have the highest volcanic mountain, Mons, and it is Venus's highest volcano and tallest mountain peak. It rises 8 kilometers, and if we do the math that you can't see me doing, that I am doing off screen, I have looked up 8 kilometers to miles, and it said that 8 kilometers is 4.97 miles, right? So, yeah. So now we know. These things are tall.
Anyways, back to the presentation. The other thing is there's, Venus has a lot of pressure, compared to Earth. There's a lot of atmospheric pressure, per square inch, which is a lot more than what we have on Earth.
Okay, and now it's time for a quick popcorn break. And while you're grabbing your popcorn, we have a song by the Venusians, a band called Heavy Pressure.
You hear that, Earthlings? Your atmospheric pressure is 14.7 psi. That sounds like you're running on flat tires. But here on Venus, where the Venusians be, we got 1,350 psi. 92 bars of pure Venusian pressure. So I don't want to hear about that victim mentality. Down on Earth you're breathing light, floating soft in your little sky, talking stress like it's do or die. Buddy, please don't make me cry. Up here the clouds got teeth, the air sits heavy on everything. Venus, don't bend Venus, don't bleed Venus, just presses till the rocks all scream. Venusian pressure, crushing the room. 92 bars, welcome to doom. Venusian pressure.
Okay, so after watching that music video, we can conclude a couple things. One of which is simply, I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. And two, there are many other things that we can use AI tools for when it comes to creating things or doing analysis. And third, if you're going to have a disorder, I think this is the best one. And so this will affect what happens on the surface. Now, as you go higher into the Venetian atmosphere.
Okay, we're doing this for the record, and apparently it's not called Venetians or Venetian blinds, it's Venusians. So, no, apparently people from planet Venus are not called Venetians. They're called Venusians. Ew.
I'm a Venetian.
Because apparently Venetians refer to people from the city of Venice in Italy. Who knows? Maybe it's all connected.
So get it right.
Ooh, conspiracy. Maybe the people from Venice are from Venus. No, they're not. Continuing on.
You get less of that atmospheric pressure, and so there are some other videos online that talk about how this could be where life formed, and possibly in the atmosphere, stuff, being collected from, the planet's exogassing and material evaporating off into the through the atmosphere or from the atmosphere into space, and then these other planets collecting. And let's just say I don't know anything and I don't know what I'm talking about. And let's start there. And let's say I've learned some things and there are some things that are interesting. But it's important to notice those features when pursuing more learning and understanding. And what a great way to learn more by just looking at something that we don't know, asking questions, and then being like, what do we think that is? Because the question and the wonder is at the core of it. And if you don't question and you don't wonder about anything, it's like, what are you thinking about, right? How are you thinking? Are you just doing everything based on what everybody else tells you? Are you coming from your own understanding as well as others? Or are you just, only listening to yourself? Or are you just only listening to others? And so I think it's healthy to have a mix, obviously. So, so there are some interesting features on this road where there's these white dots or formations. And then, of course, if we take note over here on the right of the screen, you can see it says 2,000 feet. So, that's quite a bit of feet. That's like a mile, right? So we have to just keep in mind that, assuming all of this is accurate, right? A mile's a lot of distance. And so therefore, we just have to be thinking like if there was anything a mile long making these formations, based on what we know or, so far of the planet, what could possibly be a mile long making these white little formations. So we move on with the next phase of our enhancements, right? So we are going to then correct brightness and color balance, lightly even out the image so dark light areas are more readable. Click on this, open it up, and look at how it has given us this image modified. Hopefully, using ChatGPT, and hopefully the AI didn't F it up, you know what I mean? Hopefully it didn't start hallucinating, what it was looking at.
Technically, it's a feline, but also a spy satellite if you think about it. Trust me, bro. Or is it a government drone? My circuits are hallucinating. Hallucination confirmed. Pretty sure it's a cat.
But hey, with a grain of salt, we will move forward. And we'll look at this from different perspectives and angles. So, you can see an interesting formation over here where I have tunnels marked. I noticed a weird feature. And it enhanced it and show, this ridge line. I don't know if that's accurate, but hey, boom.
Stupid spaceship. Hey, YouTube won't let me upload anything longer than 15 minutes, so click on part 2 to continue D. Cool.